Good. Okay,
Ready to go?
Chair.
Good afternoon. This is the 7th meeting of the Baltimore County Administrative Charging Committee. This is November 3rd, 2023, and it is 1:04 p.m. The first order of business will be to do a roll call, starting with me. I am Joan Harris, and if we go to my right.
Christopher Suey.
Tiffany Justice.
Vonda Shonfewer.
And we do have a quorum today. The first order of business would be to review and approve the meeting minutes from October 13th, 2023. Everyone's had the opportunity to do so. May I please have a motion to adopt the minutes?
Yes, motion to adopt the minutes. The Baltimore County Administrative Charging Committee hereby adopts the minutes as drafted for the meeting of October 13th, 2023.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It passes. And so the minutes of October 13, 2023 are adopted. The first order of business under new business will be, we'd like to hear from Henry Caligari, our coordination manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, here's something on my end. So just wanted to give sort of two updates, one that's a point of discussion and one that's more informational. So I just wanted to let everybody know that back in October, a few weeks ago, the Police Accountability Board, coordination managers, and chairs held a summit down in Annapolis with the major jurisdictions, the largest jurisdictions in the state. So ourselves, Baltimore City, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, Howard, Anne Arundel, and Hartford were all present and reviewed primarily Police Accountability Board related issues, different concerns, different experiences. And additionally, I know there was an article in the Banner that came out this week about the Baltimore City Administrative Charging Committee and the volume of their cases. All I have to report back on that is I think the Baltimore County is in an extremely strong position in regards to our process in terms of where we are in staffing, in terms of support, and in terms of accessibility. We do have a much more, we have a good balance where we're not trying to play catch up, but we're also, I think, doing a good job moving through cases. We don't face a backlog, or do we face a lack of accessibility for those who are seeking to file complaints. So that is more informational than anything, but I will absolutely keep folks here up to date on anything that comes through the pipe in regards to changes recommended by the Police Accountability Board in Baltimore County. Since I know Dawn is a member of the PAB, the PAB's annual report will come out. It will be officially published in December. The November meeting will be focused on a discussion of that report, and we'll go to the full PAB for review. That may or may not, depending on how the PAB so decides, include recommendations, change policy in Baltimore County. It does also provide your names as members of the ACC. It's listed in the report, and links to the agenda and the meeting minutes and the recordings of the prior ACC meetings. So it will be, in many ways, it's the most straightforward way for a member of the public and also the Baltimore County government to keep an idea as to what's going on with the ACC. Right? Even though it's drafted with the PAB, it does obviously overlap.
Question about,
Sure.
with respect to the PAB feedback, do you know whether any jurisdictions are going to be attempting to propose any changes to the legislation in time for the new session?
So I do believe that is a strong possibility. I can't speak for our PAB as I'm not a member of the PAB. And I can't speak for what others will recommend in their annual reports, but I do think there will be what I would call, broadly speaking, attempts at cleanup of legislation. That is to say, some changes that are not intended to fundamentally alter the role of the police accountability boards or the administrative charging committees, but rather to address some concerns that have arisen as to just the statutory language, where there's maybe a lack of clarity or, and again, you've all gone through the training, and I think that probably some of the issues that came up as far as questions that came up are likely going to be the same ones that will be addressed in the annual reports.
Okay, thank you.
The other element, which is does not really require a official motion or change to bylaws or anything, is a question actually that was raised about how much information can be disclosed that the ACC deliberates in closed session to the Police Accountability Board and also therefore the public, because the PAB meetings are open and in our annual reports. And one matter that came up that I think we've determined can be added to the report beyond what's been done before. I know that Andy Glenn, who's our counsel for the ACC, and I discussed this along with other members of the administrative staff, that the lead charge, which is to say what the lead element of the complaint was alleging, can be disclosed in addition to what is already disclosed, which is the number of cases and their outcomes. The feeling there is that the lead charge, and I know that Madam Chair and I discussed it as well, the lead charge doesn't reveal the identity of the complainant, it wouldn't reveal the identity of the officer, nor would it provide so much information as to be able to, that an outside person could draw the inference as to what the case would be. And the reason why why a lead charge makes sense is that in many of these cases, there are multiple elements to the case. This is the primary, it's similar to, if you're to look at a court docket, you'll often see the lead charge at the top of the criminal case docket. So it would provide additional context without crossing the line into confidentiality issues. So that is something that I think Dawn, as a PAB member and the designee of the chair, to report back and just certainly disclose that. And Madam Chair has provided me with a list of the lead charges from prior cases that the ACC's reviewed, so that can be added to the annual report, so that someone who just is looking through that can get additional information. So that is all that I have as far as administrative updates. I think we're all set with compensation and everyone being enrolled in our system. I think we're good to go on that front. If anyone has an issue with that, please let me know. One additional point I wanted to make is that because it's a relatively new system, because your term of service began in June, actually everyone's already received their 2023 compensation, the $3,000 for members, and then the math here, the amount that Madam Chair received as well covers the annual amount for 2023. Because it started halfway through the year, it was a bit more complicated on the part of setting up a recurring payment schedule. Starting in 2024, there will be a quarterly amount that covers that quarter. So for members, it would be 15, that full amount 6,000. So
You're right.
yes, 1,500 a quarter. So we're all set on that front, but then I think that covers everything else that I have, Madam Chair.
Super. And then the only other matters that we have involving new business are the review of our investigative files, which will be done in closed session. Before I ask for a motion for closed session, I just want to remind everyone that our next meeting is December 8, 2023 at 1 p.m. in this room 118 in the Towson Old Courthouse, or by WebEx. So after we finish our review of investigative files in closed session, we'll be returning for the sole purpose of closing the meeting. So there won't be any reason for anybody to hang around and wait for us while we do our business in
Chris, I
closed
sent you
session.
the motions.
Yeah, may I have a motion to enter closed session, please?
Sure. Motion to enter into closed session. Baltimore County Administrative Charging Committee hereby meets in closed session for the purpose of reviewing Baltimore County Police Department investigatory files and making determinations as to whether to administratively charge or recommend discipline against accused officers pursuant to Section 3-3-2706B of the Baltimore County Code and COMAR 12.04.09.05D1.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
And all in favor of moving to enter closed session?
Aye.
And it is unanimous. And so at 1:13 p.m. on November 3, we are closing the meeting to enter into closed session.
For breakout sessions. That's fine. I didn't need to do 5 of those, but you know what? It doesn't. Let's see, here we go. And with what?
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself. I'm moving myself too. So did you see how we moved the breakout session? Give her a one.
Yes, I did.
Sign people. Sign people.
If there was different people in there, you could
Right,
assign them
right,
to
right.
different.
Assign myself to a breakout room here.
Enable breakouts.
I've done that. So,
Same as well.
no,
Want to make an announcement or do you want me to?
Four.
so we need to make sure we have that. It just says assign people.
If there's anyone else in the room that,
Yes.
yeah, you'll have to leave the room because we're in the closed session.
I just wanted to ask a question. Would there ever be a time for the public to ask a question to the ACC?
So we don't have a public comment period for the ACC, but any email correspondence that you want to send, I can have it. If you request that it be forwarded to members of the ACC, we can certainly.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so, okay, for right now.
Breakout sessions, don't you?
No, it's breakout sessions. So, I can move myself here. Here we go.
Close.
We are.
But I wanted to know.
I don't have it.
That's-
The recording's not off
I think
yet.
it's Bianca Hugh.
It is. She was at our PAB meeting.
Yeah.
Online.
So we're going to, did you stop at the pause when we?
Thank goodness Henry.
I haven't done
that
anything
was
yet.
awesome.
Well, do you want me to pause or stop?
Hung up on my leg.
What's we?
We ready?
Yep.
All right, and we are now back in open session at 2:44 PM. Just a reminder that our next meeting, December 8th, 2023 at 1 PM in this room, room 118 in the Old House and Courthouse. And at this point, no further business.
There's the issue of the public comment that we raised. Tiffany, do you want to discuss that?
Yeah, I'm just,
Oh, I'm sorry.
more so, I guess maybe just a question about if there are any built-in considerations for, I mean, people can find out where we live, and so if someone wants to show up, just what that process looks like, and if there hasn't been one established, take into consideration to establish.
So I think if you are, I would ask if you're contacted by a member of the public about a case to definitely let myself and the chair know, just so that way we can be aware that it's happening. It's not an issue I've heard of arising in other jurisdictions yet. I'm sure it will be one that comes up at some point in the future. You can, if it's an email, point them in my direction and Joan's direction. That way we can provide an answer, and I think probably come up with a formal answer to sort of follow up, because my feeling is much of the follow up will be regarding information that is confidential. It will be, what was the ACC thinking, or what were they doing, or why did they do this and not do that? And I think we can work on a formal response to that, just so one that avoids getting into that avoids blurring the line between confidential and not confidential, and also one that would incentivize people to reach out, right? You want to create a situation where it's every case is being heard objectively, and not, hey, if I reach out ahead of time, I can. There's not been a discussion about what happens if someone appears in a threatening way outside of the same as for any other member of, the public / any government employee, where if it's a threat's made to any member of this committee, again, that we do have, turn to law enforcement on that front, and to report it and to seek the legal process if it's a real, if someone comes to your house and demands to talk to you. I mean, at that point, it goes to the legal process anyway. I mean, that would be the same way as if a member of a county government were to be threatened or to be harassed, or a member of a business, or a member of any group. We don't have a separate security setup in place for that. I can say that I don't believe any member of the PAB has been contacted in such a way at all. That hasn't come up. And my hope is it doesn't happen here. I understand though, because it's definitely somewhere where if someone was really mad, they could probably find that information. But if you have any concerns that are specific, again, let me know if anything comes up. Everybody, let me know, because that's something where, if there's more that we can do in any way, I'm not sure what that would look like, but if there is more we can do, if it needs to be done, we can discuss that.
All right.
Should we also mention that an outcome of our discussions was asking internal affairs to come to our next meeting to
Yes.
present? Okay.
Yes, so we will be asking internal affairs to present as a result of discussion of the cases that was confidential, and therefore can't get into the details necessarily as to why. But yes, we will be inviting internal affairs to present at the next meeting to go over some general questions regarding the process.
All right, great. And anything else? And that will conclude then the remainder of the open session. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Yes, be it so moved that the Baltimore County Administrative Charging Committee hereby adjourns until December 8th, 2023 at 1 p.m., at which time we will meet at room 18 of the historic courthouse and by WebEx.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and motion to adjourn passes, and we are adjourned.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I am just trying to get.
Now you get around that.
I know, that's the problem.
Never answered my front door. My mother has called and said, "Where are you? Aren't you home?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm not." I'm like,